So the question I asked in my Black History Month post was, do you believe that the black man can't succeed in business because the white power structures have monopolized all the resources? Now, some of you said no, but the majority of you said yes, which is why I wanted to ask this question in the first place, because it's the predominant mindset, especially for most black people. But we've never questioned where that idea came from, who gave it to us, and why it was given to us. So I'm going to reread the quote from the last post from the father of Black history, but I'm going to start from the beginning of the paragraph. Now, the highly educated Negroes who have studied economics at Harvard, Yale, Columbia, and Chicago will say that the Negro cannot succeed in business because their professors who have never had a moment's experience in this sphere have written accordingly. So, where did he say this idea came from? They're college professors. This was published in 1933. So were these white college professors or black college professors? They were white. So what that means is that this wasn't even originally a black person's idea. The whites, they say, have the control of the natural resources and so monopolize the production of raw materials as to eliminate the competition of the Negro. He goes on to say, the impatient, highly educated Negroes therefore say that since under the present system of capitalism, the Negro has no chance to toil upward in this economic sphere, the only hope for bettering his condition in this respect is through socialism, the overthrow of the present economic regime. So, where did the idea that the black man can't succeed unless capitalism is overthrown because the white man controls all the resources come from? College professors, white college professors. He says this thought is gaining ground among Negroes in this country and is rapidly sweeping them into the ranks of what are commonly known as communists. So the first thing I want to point out there is that he says this thought is gaining ground amongst black people in America, meaning that it wasn't the predominant way that black people saw themselves, America, white people, in business. Where did this idea come from? It came from the professors. What is it doing? It says that it is sweeping them into the ranks of what are commonly known as communists. Do you think that may have been the agenda of the college professors teaching in the first place? The uneducated Negro businessman, however, is actually at work doing the very thing which the miseducated Negro has been taught to believe cannot be done. Is what the college professors telling the highly educated Negroes true? Obviously it's not, because the uneducated Negro is out there doing the very thing that the highly educated or the miseducated Negro has been taught to believe cannot be done. If the highly educated Negro would forget most of his untried theories taught him in school, if he could see through the propaganda which has been instilled in his mind under the pretext of education. So what the father of black history is saying is that the belief that you can't succeed in America because of the white power structure and that you need to overthrow capitalism in order to succeed is propaganda disguised as education. Who else did I say wanted to reach us with propaganda disguised as education? In order that the Negro may be reached with education and propaganda, and that he may be organized for activity, the following methods are recommended. By means of its membership, the party shall penetrate existing forms, literary societies, lyceums, schools, colleges, teachers' institutes, etc., of the colored people, and establish forms of its own for the enlightenment of the Negro population. Who do you think wanted to do this? All the way back in 1922, Soviet communists. People that look like this, actually. That picture was taken from the convention in 1922, where the document I just read was confiscated from. Back in 1922, Soviet communists had an idea to infiltrate the black community and control every aspect of our lives. So as you can see, it was the communists that wanted to do this the entire time. It was their goal to reach us with education and propaganda so that we can be used for their purpose. The question is, did it work? According to the question that I asked and the responses that I got, there's a lot of people that still believe this propaganda to be true. There's still people today, if you ask them what happened to the black business, they'll say, oh, the Tulsa, Oklahoma riots, right? That Wall Street was burnt down and that's what happened to the black business. Not knowing that Black Wall Street was built again in 2 years.
There was a pastor in Oklahoma named Solomon Sir Jones. He was able to film a lot of black life during this time in Oklahoma. The riot happened in 1921. 1925, according to Solomon Sir Jones's footage, Black Wall Street was built back.
People use that excuse, but this is the father of Black history. He wrote this book in 1933. That's 12 years after Tulsa, and he's not even using that as a reason, because he's seeing the uneducated Black man doing that very thing which we now believe cannot be done. What truly killed the Black business was integration.
Prior to desegregation, actually my parents are in that generation in which they weren't allowed to patronize certain kinds of restaurants. In that particular environment, if you were a Black-owned restaurant, you were guaranteed a certain number of customers that didn't have any other option of eating in other establishments if they wanted to eat out.
Before that, Black people could only shop in Black businesses, so the Black dollar circulated through the community infinitely. Then when we began to integrate, we began to shop at white stores instead, and that money left the Black community and went into the white community. Remember I told you the communists wanted to infiltrate our community? They specifically said they wanted to target our ministers because they were our leaders of the community at the time. In order that the Negro may be reached with education and propaganda, and that he may be organized for activity, the following methods are recommended. Friendship of liberal-minded Negro ministers shall be sought, as these men are at the present time the leaders of the Negro masses. Listen to what Malcolm X has to say about integration and building your own.
If white immigrants can come to this country 50 years ago with nickels and dimes and no education, and come here and pool their little nickels and dimes and no education, and set up little stores, develop these stores into larger stores, develop this into an industry which creates job opportunities for whites. And today the Black man, according to the government economist, has spending power of $20 billion per year. We feel that with the Black man spending $20 billion a year, not setting up any businesses, not creating any industry, not creating any job opportunities for his own kind, he's not in a moral position to point the finger today at the white man and tell the white man that he's discriminating against him for not giving him a job in factories that he himself set up. If the Black man has $20 billion, and these so-called Negro leaders are such geniuses that they can integrate white restaurants and integrate white factories and force themselves into that which the white man has set up, they should use this same ingenuity to show the Black people how to pool our wealth and set up something of our own.
He's literally saying the same thing Carter G. Woodson was saying. These Negro leaders were telling people to integrate instead of put their money together to build industry. Where do you think that idea comes from? The same people that told us that we needed to overthrow capitalism in order to succeed. In order that the Negro may be reached with education and propaganda, and that he may be organized for activity, the following methods are recommended. Now, of course, you don't have to take my word for it, but I am interested to hear what you have to say in the comments. All right, so I'll see y'all there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.